The freak who can only have oats and hypoallergenic formula, this is what I eat in a day. For breakfast, I started by adding oats and salt to the food processor. Then I mixed that up and added water to make kind of like a pancake batter. I spread that out on a nonstick pan, flipped them over a couple times, and waited until they were a little bit crispy and brown on the outside. Then I added the vanilla flavored hypoallergenic formula with a little bit of water to make a nice thick consistency, just like maple syrup. For lunch, I made cereal by putting some oats and salt and a little bit of water onto a baking sheet and then putting that in the oven. I let the cereal cool down as I made the milk, which was just hypoallergenic formula mixed with water. I should have frothed this with my frother, but I just decided to mix it with a spoon. Then I added all the components together and it tasted really good. It was like crunchy and salty with the cereal and then nice and sweet and like soothing with the hypoallergenic formula milk. And then lastly for dinner, I made crepes and crackers, which it'll make sense in a second, just bear with me. So for the crepe batter, it has to be pretty watered down so that it's like really thin. And to get the batter nice and thin, I usually strain it with these strainers, which means I'm left with the thicker batter on top. So I basically just separated those two, used the thin one for the crepes and then the thick one for the crackers, which I just kind of spread out on a baking sheet in like a big rectangle. So while the crackers baked, I finished off the crepe by just flipping it over and then adding some formula filling on the inside and folding it over like the professionals do. I definitely made a bit of a mess though, but that's okay. It tasted so good. It was like an elevated pancake, just thinner and much more evenly cooked. And I'm just now realizing I totally forgot to film the crackers. Sorry about that. I'm kind of getting sick of this, so I think it's time to add something new into the mix. For a quick recap on my food trialing, broccoli, I had tried incorporating this into my diet because it's single ingredient, it's low histamine, and I thought it would help diversify the bacteria in my microbiome fast, but it proved to be a little rough on my gut. Next, I tried chicken, which was pretty much a fail from the get-go. So allow me to introduce our newest character, lamb loin chops. Basically, my naturopath told me that it's really essential to get a meat into my diet, like as one of the first foods. So I went to a local farm and they have grass-fed organic lamb. I got like the smallest packet that I could. So I'm gonna cook this up today, do the first day of the food trial, and then freeze the rest of it. And the quicker that we cook it, the less histamine it'll have. So it sounds like either boiling or like roasting is the best. So I'm just gonna use my air fryer to roast at 400 degrees. Oh my God, this is so weird. Whoa. Yeah, my oats don't usually bleed, so that's new. All right, we're gonna cook these for like 8 minutes, flip them, and then cook them for 8 more minutes. They're done. What I'm gonna do now is cut off a little piece that I can just stick on my tongue tonight, and then I will freeze the rest. Maybe I should cut it into pieces right now so I won't have to cut it when it's frozen, you know what I'm saying? I'm so excited. I'm feeling hopeful about lamb because one of my favorite meals ever, like in my entire life, was like when I just had a handful of regular allergies and I went to Europe and I was with my dad. I was like probably 15 and I got this like delicious lamb dish right outside of Vienna. And I remember being like really nervous because it was my first time somewhere where like I didn't speak the dominant language. So I had all my allergies written out in German on like these little flashcards. So everywhere that we ate food, I'd give them my little flashcards and be like, Dankeschön. And it worked like a charm because I didn't have a reaction or anything. I cut up a bunch of one of the loins. I'm gonna leave this one solid. They're all gonna get frozen. Then we'll just take a piece every time I want a trial. It's about 4 o'clock right now, so I will check back in once it's like dinner time and I take my cromolyn and all of that. This is dinner, so I'm gonna fill my belly up before the lamb. Here we go. I'm literally gonna do this much. All right, and that's all for now. It's been about 30 minutes and I feel okay. A little bit of throat tightening, but honestly, I get throat tightening almost every day, so I'm gonna say so far so good.